this is 6 cups of milk that I just poured in this pot, and I want it to get really warm, pretty much to like that simmer point. I don't want it to boil, but I want it to get warm. So I decided to put it on while I'm running my mouth, okay? To it, I'm getting ready to add this 1 stick of butter because I need some melted butter, and I might as well go on and melt it with the milk, all right? So y'all, look, this is what we're doing today. We're making this old school bread pudding. Y'all, I've never tasted or eaten bread pudding, so let alone have I made a bread pudding. And the reason I'm making bread pudding today, you guys, I received the sweetest email. I want to give a huge shout out to Taha. Young man sent me an email and he requested that I make this old school bread pudding. Maybe you guys are cricket. Like his grandmama used to make. So you guys already know the pressure is on. Grandmama is no longer here for him to ask her about this recipe. So he sent me the recipe and asked me if I would make it. So I'm trying to make this, goes in the sink. I'm trying to make this as simple as possible. So Taha, you will know exactly what to do. I'm excited about doing this recipe. I can't wait to taste it. The ingredients sound wonderful, but I've never had bread pudding. I guess because we always eat cakes and pies, okay? So I'm referring to my laptop that's right here and looking at this menu, not the menu, the recipe. Everything will also be down in the description box below, okay? You need at least a 9 by 13 pan. So I'm using this casserole dish. The butter that I just opened to put in the milk, I'm just taking the wrapper and I have greased the inside of my casserole dish, all right? Okay, we're gonna set this aside. Now this recipe calls for 1 loaf of wheat bread, but I'm sure you can use whatever bread you prefer to use. Thus the reason I'm using a loaf of brioche bread. It's a thick sliced brioche bread. I've already cut it up in cubes and I let it sit out overnight so it will dry out. There's nothing like fixing these like bread puddings and when I do it reminds me of me doing my French toast casserole, you know, using a brioche bread. And then if it's old bread or stale bread, it's gonna absorb that custard better, okay? So this has been sitting out overnight. So we are definitely a little dried out, okay? So I'm just gonna go on and put all of this cubed up bread inside my casserole dish so I can get my little countertop space, okay? And this one here is just big enough for all of my bread. Okay. And of course you guys know I have thoroughly washed my hands. Y'all don't be in the kitchen with nasty hands. That's just nasty. Okay. So that's out of the way. The rest of the ingredients that we will need, we'll be using 1 can of apple pie filling. Again, that was 6 cups of milk. And I want it to just barely start to simmer. I used 1 stick of butter so far. I have 5 large eggs that I've already cracked. I will be using 3/4 teaspoons of salt, 1 to 1.5 to 2 cups of sugar. Since the brioche bread has a little sweetness to it, although we love sweet stuff, I'm going to use 1.5 cups of sugar, okay? I'll be using 3 teaspoons or more of, we're going to use some pure vanilla. And we'll also be using a little bit of lemon flavoring. And then, oh, you guys, we'll be adding some cinnamon and nutmeg to taste. And you guys, these were sent to me by a sweet YouTube family member. 1/2 cup of golden raisins. I did soak my raisins in some warm water. These are the golden raisins. I did soak them in some warm water for, you know, at least about an hour, so they'll kind of plump up. This recipe also says you can use 1/2 cup of walnuts, which is optional. We prefer pecans over walnuts, so I'm going to add a few pecans for my do number 1. You guys, don't forget, roast your pecans. I usually roast my pecans for about 5 minutes or so, or maybe about 350, 400. Just keep an eye on them. Roast your pecans. It makes a world of difference, okay? And I think that's about it. My oven is preheated to 350 degrees. And then we're going to add a delicious vanilla cream sauce to the top of this, okay? So, those were all of our ingredients. I'm getting ready to bring you guys over a little closer so you all can see exactly what I'm doing. And then we're going to put this all together, get it mixed up. Before we put it in the oven, I'm going to let it soak. Just let the mixture sit and soak the custard with the bread. Let it soak so it can absorb all of that before we put it in the oven. Okay, I'm going to start by adding my 5 eggs. And I just want to kind of break these eggs up a little bit. Okay, and now we're adding our sugar. Okay, now my milk and butter, it was on long enough just to really get the butter melted. It didn't even really start simmering, so you don't need it that hot. Just enough really to melt that butter. We're going to pour all this in. You can tell that it is warm, and it's also going to help melt that sugar, okay? Or help the sugar dissolve. So you want to mix this up. Make sure you're not hearing any of those sugar crystals. All right. Now here's our salt. We're going to add about 3/4 teaspoons of salt. We've already added our sugar. Next, we're going in with our vanilla. I'm going to do about that's what I call my 3 teaspoons. And then our lemon. About a teaspoon of lemon. And now we're going to do our cinnamon and sugar to taste. So I'm just going to sprinkle some cinnamon. Because I probably will add a little bit more on the top, maybe. We'll see. Here's my nutmeg. I definitely do not want as much nutmeg as I do cinnamon. I love the smell of nutmeg. You guys know nutmeg makes me think about my mom. Okay, we're going to add our 3/4 cups of golden raisins. And I'm going to garnish a little bit on the top with my roasted pecans. I don't want to put them all throughout the mixture. That's really just for my dude number 1, aka my husband. And now for my apple pie fruit filling. You guys, make sure you wash off the top of your cans. I've already washed this can off, and as you can see, I've opened it. But the cans are extremely filthy. Make sure that you wipe them off, okay? Because they are nasty. I just want to go in with my little silicone spatula, kind of break up some of these apples so it won't necessarily be big hunks of apples. You do not have to do this, but I just thought I'd rather have little chunks of apples as opposed to an entire piece of apple. You can also use regular apples, okay? If you want to use fresh apples, you can do that as well. You can really add any other kind of fruit, I guess, that you wanted to make it different flavors. Okay. All right, so now we're going to add this fruit filling. Make sure I get it mashed up, the ones that were maybe at the bottom that I didn't get to as well. It's good. Y'all, I'm beginning to think I've been missing out on the bread pudding now. Oh my goodness, I believe this is going to be delicious. Apple pie filling and cinnamon and nutmeg. Ooh, child. Okay. All right, that's all of the pie filling. Get it all mixed up. Now you all, this is what I do. I want to make sure, because I did not measure, I want to make sure, 1, that it's sweet enough, 2, that I have enough cinnamon and nutmeg in here, okay? So I'm just going to, I know it's raw eggs in here, y'all, don't trip. I just want to taste just a little bit, just to get a little bit to see if I have enough of what I need, okay? Just make sure I have enough, because this is the time I need to add more if I don't. Let's see, I want to add a little bit more cinnamon, a little more nutmeg. I think this is clumpier than the cinnamon. Okay, a little more nutmeg. Oh yeah, this is gonna be so good. Oh my goodness. Let's try it again. Okay. I can tell the difference. Okay, we ready, y'all. We cooking with butter. How about that? Okay. So now that everything is mixed, our custard is ready. We're ready to pour it over our dish. Now, you guys, this is going to be really simple. I think it takes longer to get everything together, you know, get all your measurements than it does to mix everything up. And of course, you know, you guys will finish much quicker than I will because I'm trying to do this video. Try to get it poured over all of the bread without throwing it everywhere and it's splashing everywhere. So it seems as if, you guys, the apples, that's the last thing that's coming out of this bowl. The apples and the raisins. Oh my goodness, y'all, this is going to be delicious. So what I'm doing now is try to kind of evenly distribute the fruit, okay, if you can. Just try to get so all the apples won't be in the middle or on one side. And this is wet enough where I can actually really just mix it some more. Wow. Make sure all of your bread cubes get wet. Okay, so if you have to kind of push it down. And Taha, I hope I'm being thorough enough where you feel like you can do this and make your grandmama proud, even from the heavens. Okay. There. Wow, wow, wow. Okay. Now again, what I want to do is sprinkle a little more cinnamon on the top. You don't have to, this is totally optional, but I just want to garnish it a little bit more with cinnamon on the top. And also, this is the time, I'm going to sprinkle the cinnamon first, but this is the time too that before I put it in the oven, I'm going to want to clean up the edge of my casserole dish, okay? Now, presentation is everything. You just don't want, your dishes looking, because like I say, people eat with their eyes first, and you just don't want your casserole pan looking real messy. Ooh, y'all, I can't stand that. Oh, I can't stand it. Okay, so we'll start over here. Like I say, just do a little bit of pecans for my dude. Number one, that husband of mine. Okay. And now I just have a paper towel, and I'm gonna just go along the edge of this casserole dish and clean up any splatter from the milk and this custard mixture that I poured in here. See all of this up here? Make sure you guys can see all of that up there around the edge. Okay? Needs to be. Like I said, I just grabbed a paper towel and we're going along the edge of it. Okay, so now we're going to sit. I'm going to let this sit for, let me set my timer for at least 25 minutes. So while the bread pudding is still soaking, if you will, it has just a few more minutes before I put it in the oven. Let's go on and make this vanilla cream sauce because it has to cool. So it can be cooling while the bread pudding is baking. Alright. Again, I am looking at my recipe here. So I'll use 1 cup of half and half. Let me turn my burner on maybe about medium high. So we're adding 1 cup of half and half. Girl, you have turned on the wrong burner, child. All of a sudden I'm feeling all this heat with me. Okay, listen lady. Okay, we have on that back burner now, y'all. Okay, 1 cup of half and half. We're putting this in our saucepan. We're gonna add ½ cup of packed brown sugar. So when you add the brown sugar to your measuring cup, take your hands, and that's what it means to pack it down. You get it packed, okay? All right. Oh, girl. You're going from bad to worse. Don't splash. Ooh, child. Don't splash the half and half out of the pan, saucepan. I didn't expect that brown sugar to jump out the measuring cup like that, y'all. Listen. Okay, so that's the 1 cup of half and half, ½ cup of packed brown sugar. We have I'm gonna add 1 tablespoon of this cornstarch. Okay, 1 tablespoon of the cornstarch. So y'all, this sauce is going to be a little thick. And then we're going to do 1 egg. I always like to crack my egg in a separate container just in case it's rotten or something is wrong with it. I don't like to crack my eggs directly in whatever I'm making because, honey, if for some reason that's a bad egg, then I would have just messed up all of my other ingredients. All right? Okay. So we have our egg. Make sure I got all of that. 1 egg. And now we are just going to whisk and stir this around. It says for about 3 minutes because this is going to thicken up, okay? So you need to keep it moving. So it won't, burn. Keep your eye on your temperature too. So my temperature is set on, it's on about 6.5, about 7 right now. But I do have an electric stovetop, all right? So we're going to whisk this. And in the meantime, while that's getting a little warm, we can go on and put our bread pudding in, y'all. That is going to be so delicious. Look at that. Look at that, y'all. Okay. So we're going to get it in the oven. And just like I do my cakes, when I bake I adjust my racks in my oven to where one rack is in the middle of my oven. That's where I'm baking my this bread pudding as well. So when you look in the oven, the bread pudding is sitting in the middle of the oven, okay? All right. And you guys, I'm really trying to be detailed because I want Taha's bread pudding to come out absolutely amazing, just like his grandmama used to do, okay? So just keep stirring. After about 3 minutes, it should have thickened up some. And then we're going to add the rest of the ingredients, which will be half a cup of half and half. We need some vanilla extract. And this is calling for salted butter. You guys, it's calling for 2 tablespoons of salted butter. I don't normally buy salted butter, so that means I'm going to add a little bit of salt to it. And as a matter of fact, I'm just going to add a pinch. And when I say a pinch, it's literally a pinch, where I pinch it in between my fingers. And so I won't forget, I'm going to go on and put the salt in there. Okay, that was just a pinch of salt. And that's going to, you know, take care of that salt that I needed in the butter. All right, we are just barely starting to thicken up. So let me bring you guys over here really close over this pot so you can see what I'm doing and what's happening. And that was my timer going off to let me know that it's been 3 minutes. You see how that's thickened up? Okay. So that's what you should be looking like. So now that that's thickened up, we're going to add this half and half. It's half a cup. I'm going to keep stirring. This is my vanilla. Not my vanilla. I'm going to go in and add my about 2 tablespoons of butter. And then I'm going to add the tablespoon of my vanilla extract. And you want to just stir this, make sure everything is combined. And you know, at this point, I'm going to turn off my burner, okay? Everything is totally mixed. And that's it for the vanilla sauce. Just that simple. Oh, I didn't set the timer. My bread pudding is in. I'm going to set the timer. I want to check it first at about 45 minutes. It's probably going to take about an hour to bake, but I'll let you know exactly how long it baked when I take it out. But right now I'm just setting my timer for 45 because I've never baked it before. I just want to check it, okay? I don't want it to go for an hour and then, you know, it's overcooked, and I could have just checked it at 45. So 45 minutes, we'll check it, and I'll let you know how long it baked. Okay, so the vanilla cream sauce is done. It's done, so now we're going to take this off of the burner, and then I will cover it, and it'll be totally cool by the time the bread pudding comes out. Alright, you guys, so this actually baked an hour and 10 minutes. 45 minutes was definitely not enough. I had to, you know, put it back in a couple of times after checking it. So it's definitely going to depend on your oven. I feel safe in saying that 45 minutes is not going to be long enough. Ooh. So now that it's out, we're going to take a little butter. Just going to take a little butter and spread it over the top. Some more. Now you can't have too much butter. I guess you could, but still. And then let's see. Let's see what this vanilla sauce Okay, so the vanilla cream sauce is still, it's creamy. Okay. Let's see, I think I want to pour it. I want to use my measuring cup and pour it because it has this spout on it, and I think it drizzles better if I pour it from something that has a spout. Oh, girl, you're splashing vanilla cream sauce. Okay. So here is my vanilla cream sauce. I'm letting you guys down a little bit. Okay. So all I'm going to do, we put that butter on top, and we're just going to add the vanilla cream sauce. I'm starting around the edge because I want it to soak down the side as well. There you have it. Old school bread pudding with this delicious vanilla cream sauce. It is time. Ooh. Taste some before he gets in here.
Okay, baby.
Here you come, y'all. Let's see. Interesting. Let's see.
What's that?
I'm gonna tell you once you taste it.
I don't know, though.
Taste it. Let me tell you what it's called.
Okay, I see some. Oh. So I'm looking at a few things in here that look like it could be possibly
this
good.
It's different, babe. And it's something you may have never tried either. That's pecans.
I know that's pecans, and that's what's pointing me
And
towards tasting.
you see some apples in there.
Oh, that's what that was, apples. I thought those were sweet potatoes. Okay, so I see apples and pecans.
Listen. Wait a minute. Ooh, that's heavy too. What? I cannot with him, y'all. Y'all look. It's good. Baby, fix your face. Okay. Okay, tell me what you're tasting. That's good. Tell me what you're tasting.
I got to close my eyes because
Yeah, I can't with him.
I'm tasting. I don't know. I know I'm tasting the apples. I can taste those.
Can you taste the spice in it?
What is this?
It's called bread pudding. Have you heard of bread pudding before?
I have. I've never eaten any.
I've never eaten any either.
I've never in my life eaten any bread pudding.
That's a vanilla cream. Not glaze. Vanilla cream sauce on the top.
This is different. It's kind of intimidating.
It actually has raisins in it too.
I don't taste no raisins.
You probably, because you can't really see them because they are the golden raisins, so they're blending in with the apples.
What's this right here? What's the pudding? What kind of pudding is this? Don't make me eat it, Donna.
What you mean?
What kind of pudding is this?
I mean, that's just the name of it. And then it bakes it because it has eggs in it and it has sugar in it, and it's
almost like almost like a custard taste to it.
That's exactly what it is. Listen to him, y'all. It's a custard. It's a custard, and you pour it over. This is bread. This is brioche bread.
Okay.
That's brioche bread.
I like food
You
like
mix up
bread.
the custard, and you pour the custard over it, and you bake almost like a French toast casserole when I pour the eggs and stuff over it. But I received one of the sweetest emails from a young man by the name, and you know what? And now that I remember you sending me, I hope I have not been pronouncing your name wrong this whole time. When I see something and see all the A's, it makes me think the short vowel sound is at the R as opposed to the A. So if your name is pronounced, I've been pronouncing it Taha, but if it's Teha, I apologize. I hope I've not been pronouncing it wrong. But in any event, he sent an email to me. His grandmama used to make this old school bread pudding, and she's no longer here, so he couldn't reference what she shared with him. He sent me an email wanting to know if I would make it. He felt like I could make it, and I'm so honored and humbled that you would even think that I could pull this off like your grandmama did. So hopefully I've made you proud and her proud from heaven. But this is delicious. I've been sleeping and missing out on some bread pudding.
Now, I've never in my life ever eaten a bread pudding. It's different. Mm-hmm. It's different. It's good, but it's different. And y'all know me. As my wife said, I'm funny actor. I'm finicky when it comes to learning new stuff. The pecans keep pulling me back.
It makes me wonder if
the pecans keep pulling me back. The apples, the pudding, all of it is good. So it's just I've never in my life eaten it.
And for those of you that have
I'm trying to learn it.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I'm trying to figure out, okay, I don't know what it's supposed to taste like because I've never eaten any of it, but I know it's good, so I'm thinking.
Now, I'm wondering if maybe I should have baked it a little bit longer. Now, for those of you that make the bread pudding, I guess it's supposed to be firm. When I tested it, nothing came out on the skewer. And then, if I had baked it a little longer, I think it would have been too done. I guess I probably could have covered it with foil once it got to my desired brownness if I wanted to bake it a little bit longer. So, that's the only thing. I don't know. I don't know what the texture is supposed to be with bread.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. It's good, but I don't know what to do. I don't know what it should.
What the texture should be. I guess it's not supposed to be like a cake on the inside. I guess it's supposed to be a little soft, and for lack of a better word, I'm gonna say a little mushy on the inside. I don't know, y'all. I've never eaten it, so y'all can let me know if that's how it's supposed to taste, because it's a little soft, so we're not used to eating.
Right, and that's the thing when you're used to eating cake. Mm-hmm. But and we both never have ever tried this, so therefore
I don't know what the
I don't know if it's right, if it's wrong, if it's I don't know. I've never eaten bread pudding.
But look at that texture on the inside. Is that what it's supposed to look like? I don't know. So, but I love. It has cinnamon in it, baby. It has nutmeg.
Yeah, I can taste it.
Our home smelled wonderful. It was kind of smelled like we were making an apple pie or something. But it's again, but it's good.
Again, what is his name?
I'm not sure if you pronounce it Taha or Teha.
Taha. Young man, thank you. Let me say thank you that you would trust my wife enough to entrust Granny's grandmama skill set to her. I really do. I pray and hope she did well by you.
I say the pressure is on.
But for me, I've never eaten it. It's good. I can tell you right now, I'm one of those ones I'm gonna keep messing around with the eating more and more until it just becomes that taste of me, because I've never eaten it, so I don't know if it's right or wrong. I wish you was here. Whoop was my friend, so you could tell us if it's if she have your granny, if she has it dead on, or if you can say, well, tweak this. I don't know. I really wish you was here to tell us.
The flavor is wonderful, though. It really is.
It is good. It is good. You can have, and y'all hear me say this. The only thing with is the mind. I'm thinking cake, but then I see the pudding, so therefore it has to be.
I guess with it being a pudding, it's supposed to be a little soft.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You see pudding, you think cake, and all this is going on, and I know it's good, but my thing is, okay, if it's the right good.
And you can make it with walnuts, but I know my preference is the pecans, so I added just a little bit of pecans. But in any event, I certainly hope that this will help you when you want to make your grandmama's recipe, okay? So, and when you make it, make sure you email me again and let me know how it turned out, okay?
Yeah, let us do that. Let us know, because I want to know, did she get grandma right? I just want to know. So follow what she's giving you. You make it and tell us if we have right. Oh, let us know. Say, do all of this, do all of that. We good.
So, y'all, that's it. So if you've not subscribed,
hit the nosy.
Please consider doing so. That's turning on that notification bell. Give the video a thumbs up. And when you give it when you turn on that notification bell, it shakes. That's why he's doing all the shake something.
Just shake something. Just shake something. Come on, family.
We already look forward.
Get the shaking. Okay, ma'am.
Baby, you don't need any more bread pudding.
I'm just saying, baby.
We already look forward to you joining us again next time. Bye.
Just shake something. Just shake something.
Mama say knock you out.
Wait a minute, hold on. I ain't say.
Bye.